Hey guys, this is Keegan with the Media Men, and today we are going to be talking about Flash Season 2, Episode 1.
Hell yeah.
Now this is going to contain some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the video, then this is your warning. Go watch the episode now.
Or, just keep watching and get it all spoiled for you, nice and good.
But you don't want to do that because it was a great episode this week, I thought.
It was definitely great. I get the feeling Flash, I hope that this season of Flash is what Season 2 of Arrow was to the first season, how it's just better. But
yeah, I think it's on a higher level altogether.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I really enjoyed this episode.
It was.
I like Jay Garrick.
He was a great part, and they did explain that he does not have his speed right now, and whether his Speed Force is just hiding or it doesn't exist in Earth 1, then that's something that needs to be considered. Like, I didn't think the Speed Force was, like, something that could be destroyed over realms.
Yeah, neither did I. I get the feeling that when Zoom attacked him, that had something to do with it.
Yeah, it could definitely have something to do with it. I mean, he may not just know how to use it yet, because like they said, Zoom might be coming in from multiple places. Like, he's able to travel back and forth between the universes.
Yeah, I feel like all the speedsters are, but he's the one that knows how.
Yeah, I think so too. I think over the course of the season, Jay Garrick is going to learn to get his Speed Force back.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think it would be really dumb if he didn't. I mean, a Flash without speed is kind of a sad sight.
Oh, yeah. So we also had this one girl from the comics who's trying to get on Detective West's, what did he call it? No. He called it a...
Task Force, the Metahuman Task Force.
Yeah, the Metahuman Task Force. Kathy Spivot.
Yeah, and I know she's in the comics, and she was actually the reverse, not the reverse. She was she was Lady Flash, I think, or Flash Woman or something like that. So in the comics, she did have a very minor role and only appeared in a couple issues, but she's definitely been known to have some kind of speed abilities.
Yeah, I actually like how they did that little scene from the comics where she's like lying on the ground, and then you have Flash and Jay Garrick Flash running on either side of her. That's like a big Flash comic book panel, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. They set her up really well. I like her motivation for why she's doing everything and how determined she is. And she doesn't seem like she's bent on revenge, but she just really wants to do good in the world.
Oh yeah, it definitely feels that way. It doesn't feel as like maliciously driven as some other characters might.
Yeah, because, I mean, she was pretty content. She had kind of gotten past her father being killed, but then when she learned that they got superpowers, she realized that they could hurt more people, so it's not like she's going after them for revenge, but it's just really more kind of like, well, now I really need to step up.
Yeah, I definitely felt that way. So how'd you feel about the Flash throwing the lightning at
I thought it was
Demon?
awesome. I thought it was really cool.
I hope he doesn't forget he has that ability later, where it would be super convenient for him to use or something.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of throwing the lightning, he turned that dude into glass, and I'm pretty sure that's kill count number 2 for Barry.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't explicitly say that he's dead. Atom Smasher was, like, I think pretty heavily implied to be dead.
I think this guy was pretty implied to be dead when he shattered into a bazillion pieces.
Well, the thing is that this guy can survive as sand, so I would think that just altering the state wouldn't necessarily kill him, but I don't know. Maybe he's dead, or maybe they put all his pieces into a jar.
Yeah, they definitely didn't show them being too hasty to pick up those pieces and lock them away somewhere.
Yeah, I hope they explain this, because if they don't, they're just murdering people, and they're not talking about it.
No, not even addressing it a little bit. I mean, they're just moving on with their day, like, oh, yep. Maybe, Earth 1 just really doesn't give a shit about Earth 2.
Yeah, they don't matter. They're from a parallel dimension.
No one's gonna miss them. They're probably assumed dead in their universe anyway.
They're dimensionists. Yeah, so I hope that they address that. I mean, even in the episode, all they needed was one line being like, okay, so how can we stop this guy without killing him? And then even if they were like, we can't, I would have been like, alright, but at least you, like, tried or considered it. But no, we don't even get that.
No, but I mean, speaking of Earth 2, I have a theory that when Firestorm split between Stein and Tommy, is that his name?
Robbie.
Robbie. When it split between Stein and Robbie, I think Stein got pulled back into Earth 1, but then Robbie is now over in Earth 2.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, I think that's the only logical way, because that was definitely, they said it was a portal, so the portal had to lead somewhere, and if he didn't come back down to Earth, he had to go the other way.
Yeah. Also, what I also found interesting was that there was a lot of portals.
Yeah, that was
just
really
one.
interesting.
So that'll be interesting.
Did they explain why there were so many portals?
No, I assume it's just the singularity like dispersed and then created a bunch of smaller ones or something.
More manageable to disrupt.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also not like world shattering.
Yeah.
What I'm wondering is why Zoom, if he's so fast and deadly, is sending like these random people from his
Earth
I was
thinking
to go kill Barry. Maybe he doesn't think that he can kill Barry, or maybe he's like an alternate version of Barry, so he doesn't want to confront him.
I don't think that. I think it's like being set up in a video game perspective where they have to fight all the lower level bosses, then work their way up to the big bad boss. Maybe he is testing if he's like worthy. Like maybe he doesn't even know if this speedster is worth fighting himself. Like if he can just send a normal goon to do the job.
That's true. Also, if he can do it without stressing himself out, I guess that's as good a reason as any to be sending people after Barry, so he doesn't have to get his hands dirty.
Yeah, that's true, though. I'm not sure he really cares about how dirty his hands are at this point.
Well, I don't mean in that sense. I mean, like, in terms of the effort involved.
You know what I didn't like? I thought his suit was so bland. It was just black. Like,
it had some blue.
Did it?
He looks more like the Reaper Flash or whatever, the all-black Flash.
Yeah.
That's comes to speedsters when they're about to die from the comics. He looked more like that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's what they're going for, kind of like a metaphoric, that he's your doom.
Yeah.
I thought the Reverse Flash costume was much cooler.
I did too, but this could still be cool. We didn't really I don't think we got a totally solid look. Maybe
no, he was definitely vibrating
frame
pretty quickly back and forth to blur the image.
Yeah. So we'll see. It might get better. Also, Harrison Wells popping up at the end of the episode. That was pretty cool.
We knew he was going to be a series regular. We didn't know in what aspect though, and I'm really glad that he's going to be back. And it looks like he's back as Harrison Wells. I think. I don't think it was like, well, anyone else, but I just think that he could be interesting. I am glad that he's back because he's got such a charisma to him.
Yeah, he does, and I want it to be the good version of Harrison Wells because he got so screwed. Like his life his wife died, and then he got his whole life taken away from him. And then so basically the Earth 2 version is what if he was never killed? What if he had done what he was supposed to?
Yeah, he would have created this awesome thing. And it kind of looked like, they said it was built in 1991, but it had a very 1950s, 60s look to me, like the whole universe.
Yeah, it did. I think that was a callback to the original comics.
Yeah, I mean, it explains why, like in the comics, Jay Garrick is actually from, an earlier time period. But I just thought it was interesting that the universe was modeled as like a early 1900s type city.
Yeah. Speaking of Jay Garrick, they had this whole moment of him like donning his helmet for the first time. And I just thought it was super goofy.
It was, but at the same time, I loved the line when he was like, "You could have just told us you lost your helmet. That would have saved us a whole episode." I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was. But it did look good once I saw him like in the full suit and like going to confront Sand Demon. Then he pulled it off. But I just thought like the whole moment seemed like we were supposed to feel something from the moment maybe, but it was more just kind of silly. It
was a little silly, but I agree. He pulled it off in the end, which is like, wow. how do you pull off something so stupid looking even in the comics?
Oh yeah, I agree.
I was wondering how his helmet stayed on when he ran, but it looks like there's like a strap on it that like tightens to his head, I think.
It also looks like it's pretty tight on his head.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
I think there's a strap in there that makes it tight on his head.
Yeah. So that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But
No.
in general, when you're running that fast, wouldn't like your clothes just rip off of you?
I don't know. I've never ran that fast.
Well, because I know that Cisco specifically designed the suit so that it would be friction resistant or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, his like shirt looked a little not like teched out, but it was definitely made of a leathery material, so it looked stronger than like an average cloth.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess it's not that important. It was just a thought.
Yeah. Speaking of thoughts, I think Cisco's having some thoughts over there too.
Oh yeah. Though it seems, I know he's supposed to be turned into Vibe from the comic books. I don't know much about the character, but I know that he sees into alternate dimensions. What Cisco seems to be seeing is like events that already occurred.
Well, if you think about it, he is most everything he's seen has been from an Earth 2 character.
That's true.
So they are from different dimensions.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, everyone he's looked at in his vision has been an Earth 2 character so far.
You think? Because I know how they described multiverse theory in the comics was that the difference is that like the parallel universe like vibrates at a slightly different frequency.
Yeah.
So maybe he's like honing in to those frequencies, and that's why he sees the metahumans from Earth 2 fighting Barry.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't think he's honing in on anyone from Earth 1. I think it's all people from Earth 2.
Yep. I think so as well. But looks like the season's going to be pretty good. I hope that they don't make Harrison Wells evil.
No, I don't think they will.
I just want to see him be a good guy. It'd also be interesting to see him interact with the team again, but without being, like, scheming.
Yeah, that's true. But he's not going to know the team, so he'll be like a newcomer. And then the team definitely won't trust him.
Oh, yeah. No, they won't. But maybe no, because when Jay Garrick Flash, when he was talking to Barry Allen Flash, he didn't seem like he, like, knew Harrison Wells.
No, it didn't seem that way.
Speaking of Harrison Wells, I really don't like how they keep saying, Harrison Wells did this, Harrison Wells did that. Harrison Wells didn't do anything. Eobard Thawne did all of that.
Yeah,
like, I feel like that's more for the audience's convenience because they only really mention Eobard Thawne by name once or twice. And we're used to the name Harrison Wells, but it just kind of bothers me because it feels like they're blaming Harrison Wells, even though Harrison Wells wasn't the one who technically did anything wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, once you've known someone for so long, it's really hard to, like, completely erase that name and put a new one in the slot.
Yeah, that's true.
The only other thing I really had to say about Flash was we had Detective West, his wife came back. Oh,
yeah. That was a surprise. It didn't even occur to me that she just left. And I thought she was dead for some reason.
I thought she was dead for sure. Like, there was no thought process that was like, oh yeah, I wonder where she scoured off to. But
so she just left. Maybe she has a good reason. I'm sure she does.
Could be. But I think that's where Wally West is coming in.
Yeah. Maybe Wally West could also be... I was thinking about this. I don't think that this is what's going to happen, but what if Wally West was like the male version of Iris West from Earth 2? And that's who the Flash is.
See, but Earth 2 already has a Flash. You think they have two Flashes?
Oh, that's true. Well, I mean, then they would also have two Flashes now.
Yeah, that's also true. But I feel like there's got to be a significance to his wife returning.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's going to be Wally West.
I'm interested to see where they go with the Wally West character. I don't think that they're going to... If they introduce him, I think they'll introduce him without his powers first.
Oh, I think so too. I don't think he'll get his powers for a while, at least.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much sums up my thoughts on the episode. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I liked it more than the premiere episode, actually.
Yeah, I did too. Speaking of episodes I liked more than the premiere, Arrow was awesome as well.
Arrow was awesome. It was, Felicity, I loved her in this episode. I thought she was great.
Me too.
I've been having problems with her since season 3, but this episode she came back full force and just kicked ass the whole way through, I thought.
She did, and she did it all without crying, which was great.
She didn't cry. She like teared up at one point and was like, "No, pull it back."
And it felt like for a good reason.
Yeah, no,
like it didn't feel like she was just getting emotional because that's what the scene needed. It felt like, okay, that response makes sense. Not that the responses before necessarily didn't make sense, but it seems like she's making more of an effort to be that strong person that we know she is.
I think
which
so,
is great.
And I like how she found a different way to save the company and still not fire everyone.
Yeah, me too. That was great. Another thing that I like is how they're dealing with Felicity and Oliver's relationship.
I do too.
I thought, like,
they're not like shoving it in my face anymore. Like, here, this is it. They're doing it. Like, they're like kind of taking a step back and saying, this is a relationship. Let it go. Let it flourish. Give it some space. Watch it from afar. Not quite so shove it in your face, which I'm enjoying a lot. I like them together a lot more now than I did in the first episode.
Yeah, they're really great. I mean, their whole chemistry, like they just tackled problems together efficiently. They didn't get there was no artificial relationship drama.
No.
And I don't find relationship drama very interesting anyway, unless it's like they're separated for whatever, like from some sort of existential force that's like keeping them apart physically.
Yeah.
That's okay, because then you can have a whole arc about how they find each other again. But I don't want them to like break up and go back and forth, and like it's just annoying to me.
The wishy-washy emotional part kind of gets wearisome after a while.
Yeah, well, it feels like a cheap way to inject drama into a TV show.
Yeah, something that doesn't need that extra drama because it's already such a dramatic show.
It's already intense. Another relationship that I found interesting was Thea and Oliver's relationship in this episode.
Yeah. See, I had a real problem with Oliver, honestly. I didn't see Thea, like, at the end, yeah, she definitely lost it when she started fighting Oliver, but, like, at the beginning, she looked like she was doing her job to me.
I think he was just worried because she was being uncharacteristically ruthless. Like, she was being like him, and she did not want her to be like him.
That's true.
Because he's trying to be less violent.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, yeah, she broke that thug's arm, but, I mean, that's what you would have done. you use fear to scare people. That's what he does. Shoot, I mean, if the Lazarus Pit wasn't involved, I would have just been like, yeah, she's just trying to take after Oliver, who set all the standards for interrogating bad guys.
Right, but Oliver asks first, and then he starts brutalizing. He doesn't, like, go straight for the...
Well, I think Thea asked first in this, too. She didn't give much response time. She didn't wait much, but she definitely did ask first.
I think the big thing was that it was out of character for her, not necessarily that there's a double standard.
Yeah.
I do like. I think that he's worried and concerned because of the effects of the Lazarus Pit, and when he was like, "What you're doing is designed to cripple them. I can show you how to incapacitate them without like destroying their body."
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. Like, you don't really see superheroes even approach that subject. At least I haven't. Usually Batman just breaks people's bones.
Batman aims to cripple.
Yeah, but Green Arrow in general, I think, is much less of a broken person.
Yeah, that's true.
Batman.
But Thea had a very good point that, like, if you were so worried, why did you just leave right after I got resurrected?
She did have a good point. I like how they dealt with it. They dealt with, like, a lot of, like, logical character inconsistencies. Like, they dealt when, like, because I don't expect characters in shows to always make the right decisions. And I think that's a lot of that's a common trap that people fall into when they're criticizing something. Is they're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, well, you can't always expect the character to make the perfect choice. You know, we have a different perspective.
I thought Oliver looked a little rusty in that fight with the Anarchy.
He did. I think he's supposed to be rusty.
He looks it. I mean, his fighting skills look a little duller than they normally do, not so sharp and crisp. I mean,
but I like his character. He seems just nicer in general, which I do like actually, because it makes him feel more like. It definitely feels like he's slowly gonna be more like the Green Arrow from the comics or the Justice League TV show.
Yeah. All right. One thing that I definitely noticed was. All right, so he had been gone in his flashbacks for 3 years, right?
Right.
His hair was pretty long, getting pretty long, right?
Oh, yeah.
3 years. It took him 3 years to get his hair down to shoulder length. And you're telling me he cuts it off right now, and then in the next 2 years, it's supposed to be down to the middle of his back.
I don't know if it was that long, middle of his back, but
it was definitely in between the shoulders.
It was, and
he had a full beard.
Weird. That's very strange. I mean, maybe Oliver was keeping somewhat kept, like he was cutting his hair at least a little bit in the meantime, but like, I mean, 3 years is enough time. Like, realistically,
he's only got 2 years left to grow that back out.
Yeah, but the problem is that in the previous 3, it was not that long.
That's true.
So, I don't know. Maybe they're retconning that part of the first episode. That's kind of funny, though. That didn't even occur to me. I was like, oh, they shaved his head.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what I thought of, because in season 1, you see him with, like, caveman standard hair, and I'm just like, well, how is he going to grow that back now? I feel like they took it out of the previews now, because I don't think they're planning on going back to that.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to grow his hair that long by the time he gets back to Star City.
I don't think so either. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. It's more just funny than anything.
Yeah, I just thought it was something interesting that I noticed.
So, I mean, we'll see. Oh, speaking of the Lazarus Pit from earlier, I do like how they addressed, like, Diggle asked, why is she only showing symptoms 6 months later? Because that had been something that myself, and I know that at least a few other people have been wanting to know, like, how come it's just affecting her now? And, like, I even though they didn't, like, completely explain it, I like that they addressed it.
Yeah, well, I could totally see, because they've been with her for the past 6 months, so if she's been, like, gradually becoming more aggressive, they might not have noticed it as much as Oliver did when he saw the blatant contrast from when he left.
That's very true. That makes sense. And I do like how Thea acknowledged that she had a problem by the end. She didn't do the, oh, you lied to me. Like, they didn't do any of that. They were just like, you were right.
No, but the end, freaking Laurel, oh my god.
Oh, no. Yeah, I did not think they were going to show Sarah's corpse. I actually thought that Sarah's body wasn't going to be there.
I thought it was going to be pretty freaking decayed. I'm like, the Lazarus Pit works some miracles, but bringing that back, I mean, that's, she's been dead for what, almost a year now?
Well, like 9 months, so almost a year, but the Lazarus Pit just doesn't work after a year. And I know it hasn't been we know it hasn't been that long.
No, it hasn't been a full year, but it's definitely been upwards of a year. Not quite, but it's been close.
I mean, she's definitely getting resurrected, though. I mean, we already know that.
Yeah, we do know that, but you gotta figure Thea had some side effects after being dead for 2 days. What kind of side effects is Sarah gonna have after being dead for freaking 8-9 months?
I mean, she was already kind of crazy.
That is true.
But what I'm also like, so is Nyssa a part of this scheme? And what I did like is it didn't even occur to me that Laurel didn't know that the Lazarus Pit could be used for that purpose. Like, no one knew that Oliver did that except for Oliver.
Well,
and
I mean, Thea.
And Thea.
And Felicity and Diggle all knew that.
Did they all know prior to him just mentioning it in that episode? Because Laurel seemed surprised.
Well, Diggle and Felicity were there when it happened.
Okay. You're right.
So okay. I'm pretty sure they know.
So they knew, but Laurel didn't.
No, Laurel did not, it appeared. Oh. But I know Felicity and Diggle knew.
Yeah, I can't remember. But, I mean, you're probably right.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think... And I guess Ross is now Malcolm Merlin, so Thea should not have too much trouble getting in there. But I feel like Malcolm's still going to be like, this is a stupid-ass decision. Like, don't freaking resurrect a girl who's been dead this long.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was against resurrecting Thea.
Yeah.
So, if he's against that, we'll see.
I mean, hell, maybe Detective Lance freaking dies because he has a heart attack after seeing fucking Sarah not dead again.
Maybe. Well, what if it's not anyone within the immediate group? What if it's a character that they introduce and get us attached to over the course of the season?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? I just hope it's not Felicity.
I just I don't know how attached Oliver can get to someone in the next 6 months
Yeah.
to feel that broken up about it.
Well, if he like blamed himself for it, then I could see that. He
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to be as attached to that person, but if it was someone he knew and he knew that other people were upset and then he blamed himself, then I could see that.
Maybe. But I'm pretty positive it's someone within the group. Or at least, like, if it's not, it's someone we've known for a while.
What if it's like Diggle's kid or something? Oh,
See,
man.
now that would suck. That would be terrible.
That would be awful. I feel like it's going to be... I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get rid of anyone from the Arrow crew before the season 5.
No, I think Detective Lance is a good bet, though. Because he's not in the Arrow crew. They have been setting him up to die for a while. And if it was Oliver's fault, he would definitely feel that broken up about it.
Yeah, I think so, too.
And also, Lance is getting involved with Dark now, and that cannot end well.
Oh, no, not at all. What I found interesting was that he had, like, a weird code of ethics.
I thought the same thing. He's got some kind of moral code that he does abide by.
Yeah, but the thing is that he's threatening Lance's daughter, Laurel.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hypocritical, but maybe he just meant that he shouldn't be doing it in such a brutal way.
I think so. I think, like, the way he probably views it is, like, he's giving Lance notice and saying, this is, follow my orders and nothing bad is going to happen to her. You know, just do what I say. I don't want to use this that I have over you, but I am willing to. Whereas this guy just, like, snuck in and stole the daughter one night, which is more like a kidnapping thief than it is just like a honorable, so to speak, quote unquote, like, he's being upfront about it and, like, saying, I'm gonna do this, but I don't want to.
Yep, I definitely agree.
So I think that's why he feels like it's slightly more honorable what he's doing, I guess. Just a question, though. When do you think Ray's coming in this season?
I'm going to say somewhere close to the mid-season finale, because I know that they're starting Legends of Tomorrow after the winter break. But I would say, like, maybe 1 or 2 episodes before the season finale.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can get on board with that.
So that'd be my educated guess. All right, well, I think that's all, right?
I think that wraps it up here with the Media Men, so let us know what you guys thought. We would love to hear some comments on who you think is in the grave and where you think this season is going. So just leave a comment below. You can like us on Twitter at KBL Media Men. We'll post a link to that below.
Subscribe, share us with your friends if you liked what you saw, and if you didn't like what you heard, then comment below and let us know how we can improve. We'd always take some constructive criticism.
Signing off.